The form of Prakshit has asked, subject matter is through sound but surrender to him. Aham sarvasya prabhava matak sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samandita. All of this subject matter is through sound vibration to purify our consciousness and bring us to the point of surrender to Krishna. With no doubt, with no obstacle, with no other conception, with no other shelter, simply shelter in the personality of Godhead. So now just to review these two chapters, Maharaj Parikshit has asked, what is the duty of all beings? The answer is to surrender to Krishna. And there may be many steps to come to that point of surrender to Krishna. And steps are fine. Take steps, but come to that position of surrender to Krishna. Initially, chapter 1, there has to be some detachment from the gross affairs of material existence and some forming of an attachment, of a conception of the Supreme. That's chapter 1. Then chapter 2, fixing the mind on the form of the Supreme who is situated within the heart and furthering detachment. Detachment starting with the gross things of day-to-day life and furthering the position of detachment based upon attachment to the spiritual form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Furthering one's attachment to the spiritual form of the Personality of Godhead. The process of dhyan assists us, but the process of dhyan is surpassed, or ultimately the strength that dhyan has to carry us to the ultimate position is through the medium of bhakti. Yoginam api sarvesham madgaten antaratmanam. Shradhavan bhajate yomam. That's the culmination. So we need to know what our goal is so that we can get there. And so the goal at the conclusion of chapter 2, we're almost at the final 2 verses of chapter 2, surrender to Krishna. It's the statement given in Bhagavad Gita. After the whole of Bhagavad Gita, so many things, that's the conclusion. Bhagavatam teaches the same thing. It just expands the detailed knowledge and even stronger focus on the different aspects of Krishna. Universal form is also discussed in chapter 11 of Bhagavad Gita. Here we're getting in a whole chapter dedicated in the Srimad Bhagavatam to explaining another perspective on the universal form. The Dhyan Yoga process is also described. Here it's described in greater detail. Just the correlation between Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam is what I'm speaking about. It's not a different conclusion. It's the same conclusion. Just the detailed understanding of the poetry of the Bhagavatam is so beautiful. And it leaves one, if you carefully consider it and carefully apply it, you'll come to the right conclusion. Now there's this free will thing that we can take it as information and not apply it because we have some resistance to surrendering to Krishna, or we're just lazy and we're so conditioned by the material way of life. But spiritual life isn't for people who are lazy. It's for people who are very sharp and have very carefully considered this message. Sometimes the counter argument is given. The life of devotion is for people who are just kind of, they can't get it together in the material world, so they take this up. Sentimental, da-da-da-da-da-da. But it's not for sentimental people. It's because there's so much opposition to really go forward towards the goal of spiritual life. One has to be thoughtful. One has to have sharp, penetrating consideration of this message and surrender. It takes stronger intelligence to be a devotee than to not be a devotee. Be an aggressive materialist. It doesn't take so much intelligence. It just takes a lot of belligerence, but not a lot of intelligence. It takes great thoughtfulness. Prabhupada would teach like that. Monishi Nam. Spiritual life is for those who are thoughtful. Life doesn't let life pass them by. They consider what's happening. So this particular purport is very nice. It helps us to thoughtfully consider the existence of the personality of Godhead as the object or the person unto whom we should surrender. Okay, so any discussion? This might have been better in a morning class. People are more alert. That's the sequence it came in. Okay, microphone.
Maharaj, up to the point where we came up to the point of higher intelligence. He recognizes the person using intelligence, he sees that there is higher intelligence which is guiding things.
Yeah.
Then we went to the super soul through scriptural reference. We took scriptural reference to identify that higher intelligence as the super soul.
Yeah.
Now what is the empiricist who is trying to achieve this? Does it mean he will not be able to progress beyond that stage? If he does not... Scriptural reference means he has to accept a spiritual master?
Even to do this properly, it takes guidance. Prabhupada explained once, when every living being is born, do they have an understanding of the soul? Most elementary thing of spiritual life. No understanding of the soul. Somewhere along the line, one receives some higher benedicting understanding of the soul exists. So even ABC requires some guidance. Now the others can be, the guidance can be just common sense up to the point of super soul. To the other is also, it stands to reason. God is everything, so there's something more to God's existence than just directing the affairs of matter, like a traffic cop or something. He has a personal life, besides being a traffic cop. And what are those activities of his personal life? That's his higher nature, or his personal feature. But so even these other steps, there's some scriptural background. Now this goes back to this intelligent design argument. Some scientists say it's not a question of belief, it's a question of science. You see something that's organized, there's a design to it. Behind the design there's some intelligence. Duh, as they say in America. But then the other argument says that's just your belief. And it's belief because scriptural. Okay. Anything else? Yes.
Maharaj, my question is that when a person comes new to Krishna consciousness,
When a person comes to Krishna consciousness,
new, so at that time he hears and intelligently evaluates what is Krishna consciousness, whether what he's hearing is correct or not. All this he thinks through his intelligence.
I didn't catch it.
Well, I'm taking a case, when a person comes new to Krishna consciousness, he hears and then he evaluates what is Krishna consciousness, what is he is hearing, how it is correct. We see that one person, he properly evaluates what he is actually hearing, and he comes to proper understanding that this is correct. Whereas we see some people, they are not able to properly evaluate what is Krishna consciousness. So, although it is like what I understood is intelligence is given by super soul. So it is that they have one person who is coming to right conclusion is having right desire, and one who is not able to come to right conclusion, it is not that he is not having right desire, or what is it?
Let me say back what I suggest you get a better quality speaker. Everybody, so many persons come forward to learn about Krishna consciousness. Some people grasp it properly, some people don't grasp it properly. Is this because they have some impure desire? Is that why they don't grasp it properly? That's your question?
Because the intelligence is given by super soul. So
is super soul filtering out the proper understanding for some and filtering in the understanding for others? That's what you're indicating?
Based on their desires.
Sure. You just want confirmation that that's how it works? You want a scriptural reference for that's how it works?
That is
Sarvasya chaham hridhi sanivishto matak smritir jnanam apohanam cha. You know the verse? 15:15. Bhagavad Gita. Krishna is situated in the heart, and from him comes knowledge, from him comes remembrance, from him comes forgetfulness. So from knowledge is the opposite of knowledge. Remembrance, its opposite is forgetfulness. Supersoul is directing the wanderings of all living beings. Those that are remembering and those that are forgetting. And he sees there are two things, their desire and their deserve. I want to forget Krishna. Okay. Covered. I want to remember Krishna. Okay. Remove the covering. He's the filter changer. Super soul function. So we're dependent upon Krishna to realize the teaching of Krishna consciousness. Some persons like the idea of depending upon Krishna to understand Krishna. Those persons can understand Krishna. Some persons don't like. Prabhupada has explained it. That the doer, the knower, kartaham, such a person cannot understand. Krishna puts over the filters. Krishna removes the filters. So he's the controller of his external energy. Under his direction, the external energy covers or discloses. We're dependent upon Krishna's control. He's independent, we're dependent. So that's what you're asking, and the answer is yes.
Yes, but
yeah.
Let's say I take a case, a person who has practiced for some time.
person has practiced for some time.
So there is some sincerity.
Some sincerity.
But in the matter of execution, there will be desires which are coming out.
Some desires too.
So it is what I understand. What I am understanding is those desires also.
You went too fast. Did you catch it?
What I am understanding from this is that
Okay.
The super soul even facilitate those desires.
He may or may not. He's not obliged. He's not under contract with you. You desire something, he's got to do it. He may or he may not. But he knows what those desires are. He also knows what your deserve is.
So if one is going on a wrong track, so super soul will give some indications.
Oh yes, so many indications. Look out for the cliff. Krishna will warn you. Internally and externally. But we can choose to be belligerent. Most people do. Plenty of warnings. My voice going like that is the word cliff. C-L-I-F-F. You fall off a cliff. Cliff. Okay. Krishna gives warnings. Prompts from within and from without. Without is from scripture, by indications within nature, by other people, and from within, always. He's our best friend. He doesn't give up on us, even we're, lazy and crazy. He doesn't give up on us. Yes.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, devotees. Yeah. Any comment, questions, or anything devotee would like to share? Please feel free.
Hare Krishna Ji, Dhanil Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, bro. So I like this last point where Maharaj gave us a reconfirmation that Krishna is our best friend and he gives us various indicators to answer the Prabhu's question. And so that's a nice reassurance, bro. He keeps giving us indicators that to keep us in the path of bhakti. So that point I liked a lot, Prabhu. And nice summary given by Maharaj about how we should to start with detachment and slowly attachment to Krishna. That's towards the initial part of today's lecture. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Prabhu. Just to connect to your point, like Krishna gives a lot of reminders. We are just lazy in everything. But Maharaj told in the beginning that we should be having very strong intelligence to surrender to Krishna, and there must be penetrating consideration. So I think in that sentence I can connect with what you said. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Other devotees? One liner is also fine. That I like this one line. That also is fine. Devotees can share.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So here today is a direct points Maharaj explained nicely. So it should not be like spiritual life is not for lazy people. There should be sharp, intelligent enough to understand the thing. So and one more thing is again pointed out that all the Bhagavad Gita summary is to surrender to Krishna. Even Bhagavatam and chapter itself explained about this. So nicely explained about that Maharaj. And so even we can understand some people asks where is the God and all how it is means. So he told one saying like if there is a design behind the design there is intelligence. So definitely all the creation of this world and all there would be some definitely behind one person we can answer like this. Nice, bro. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for sharing, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
In Maharaj spoke about surrendering in one of the Chaitanya Charitamrita class. Uh, we mentioned that point. If we surrender to Krishna, Krishna will take care of us. Immediately, Shyamkanda Prabhu asked the question, "What is surrendering?" So many devotees they share. So here, as a Maharaj told, surrendering first detached from the material things, concentrate upon Supreme Lord, and attached to the Supreme what spirituality. So here that day, many devotees, what we are doing for surrendering means what? What we are doing for Lord. So many devotees told here we are getting up early and we are eating Krishna Prasad. Before we were eating normally, but now we offer the food and then we are taking prasadam. So many things. So uh, I understand surrendering means some sacrifice. What we are doing for our spiritual master, some renunciation. So that day Prabhu told very clearly. No, here Maharaj mentioned similar that. So that's the reason I want to share that thing, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
I missed the last line, Madhu. What is the last line you said?
Surrendering means renunciation, Prabhu, some sacrifice, what we are doing for our spiritual master Krishna. See, many things we changed in our life after we came to Krishna consciousness, before how we are, now how we are. So first, detach from the material things Maharaj mentioned. Next, meditate upon the Supreme Lord and attach to the spirituality. So that same thing, Shyamkunda Prabhu very clearly explained to us. That's what I want to share with you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Yes, I got it, Madhu. Thank you so much. Yes, Channakeshwar Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. I have the question. One of the devotee was asking, some may grasp properly that knowledge and some may not be. Why is that so? So Maharaj has given on the Bhagavad Gita, one of the sloka, I think 15.15, right? So Krishna who sits within heart, he gives the knowledge, remembrance and forgetfulness. So can you just elaborate on this point, Prabhu?
Okay. Maybe I will request other devotees to share their thoughts.
Can you restate your question, Prabhu? The last one sentence I missed it, Prabhu.
Prabhu, one of the devotee was asking, this some may grasp properly who comes into Krishna consciousness. They evaluate whether it is right direction for them to in the spiritual path or not. Based on their grasping, some may not grasp it properly. So Maharaj was referring the Bhagavad Gita 15.15, I guess, that sloka. Krishna who sits in within heart as a super soul, he gives the knowledge, remembrance, and forgetfulness. So on this topic, Prabhu, I just want to understand more.
Before Derale Prabhu asks others to say, can I hear from you? What do you think about this? How different people can get spiritual enlightenment differently? You have any thoughts on it, Prabhu?
I'm having this grasping aspect how it works, Prabhu, because if you see in a school also there will be so many 30 students. Out of 30, no one will. All students will not grasp everything. Because of their intelligence and memory level, they will be in top. Some them who is not able to grasp the teachings of in their academic, they will not be able to up to the mark. Some may fail also. So how that interest will come, that is what I'm to grasp. Also, we need some intelligence, right?
Yeah. What do you think, Prabhu? How does that intelligence come? What do you think so? How do you think it happens?
When there is a desire so strong, based on the desire, it may come intelligence. That is what my understanding, Prabhu.
Okay. Dear Prabhu, you can ask others.
Yes, yes. Yes, devotees, anybody would like to offer some response here? Yes, Sanatana Gopa Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. In Bhagavad Gita, in one of the purports I have read, that whenever a devotee is sincerely doing devotional service, whenever he approaches Krishna sincerely, Krishna gives intelligence for him to understand his message. So it depends upon the sincerity and faith with which they approach. Krishna himself gives intelligence to understand the message. This faith and sincerity will vary from person to person. That's why some people are able to understand, some people are not able to understand. Hare Krishna Prabhu. I may be wrong, please correct me if I.
No, perfect, Jolit Prabhu. Thank you so much. Yes, devotees, anybody else?
Prabhu, my understanding is like, yeah, right. So all the people cannot be in the same level to understand the topic or something. Then I think we should like maybe earlier Maharaj also told or someone told, if we don't understand once, we have to hear our if we have like, yeah, as Prabhu already mentioned, if we have desire means definitely we can hear multiple times if you don't understand particular topic or something. Uh, so that is also, but of course, Krishna has to give the intelligence when we have desire. Then he will give, when we surrender, he will give the intelligence to understand the topic. Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Kumarika here. What that Prabhu asked was why that anyway the intelligence comes from Krishna for everyone. So then why if two people are attending some classes in relation to Krishna consciousness, one get attracted and stay back and others may not understand the philosophy or they don't want, they walk away. Even after practicing for some time, some people drop out. Why does it happen that two people differently, why Krishna is if Krishna is giving the intelligence, why he is not giving the same intelligence to everybody? That was his question. That is what I understood as his question. And Maharaj said that within that person, the desire, as somebody said previously, that Chennakeshwar Prabhu himself said, the desire, the strong desire for knowing Krishna is not there. He has got other desires which is more stronger than that. So when Krishna sees that the soul is not inclined, so he wants to forget Krishna. So yes, okay, you forget me. And if he says that that soul is very much inclined to understand Krishna, then he says, okay, you can understand me. Then he reveals the philosophy to him. So that is how he sticks on, the other one drops away. So everything, for everybody, the intelligence comes from Krishna, but the difference in understanding comes because of our own desires. That is what I understood, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji, for sharing. Neelima Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. I have the same reply, almost same as Kumarika Mataji. Like when I'm approaching Krishna, my desire to understand Krishna is not so much. So I have other desires like I want attention or I want happiness. So we have that conditioning of putting our agenda to Krishna and while chanting also. So we have all these desires, all this list to be fulfilled. And there is very tiny interest in understanding about Krishna or what spiritual master is saying. So when we have so many blocks, so the reception is also poor. And because Krishna is merciful and devotees are merciful, as our desires are getting fulfilled or not getting fulfilled, we further uh, uh, develop our capacity to receive what Krishna is saying. So it depends on our conditioning also and our desire. Our desire to know Krishna, or is it the desire to get our desires fulfilled by Krishna? So that is my understanding.
Thank you, Maharaj. Ashok Prabhu, you raised the hand again. Maybe you have something
Yeah,
more.
no, Prabhu, we extended to this question maybe. So based on all the replies, I understood like I'm not understood. So I got a question. So how can we develop that strong desire than material desires? So I want Krishna means how can we relate to that? We should have a strong desire to have a Krishna like surrendering and all. So I wanted to hear along with this. Thank you.
Okay, no, maybe I will just try to attempt what Chanakesha Prabhu asked. So, Prabhu, so there are two parts when we hear Krishna Katha. There is an intelligence part and there is a heart part. Okay. So intelligence part, like how we can grasp into the matter, how the complex matter we can understand nicely, go very deep to it, and wonderfully we can, understand ourselves in such a nice way that if someone comes, we can explain to him or her very nicely. That's one part. The other part is the heart part. So maybe the complex matters I may not understand, but there is a deep conviction. Conviction is there deep. Uh, there is a conviction to the serve Krishna and his devotees, and understanding the philosophy at the heart level, or accepting the philosophy at heart level. So I feel that Maharaj was that whatever the discussion happened with that boy, Maharaj was actually, that's what my understanding is, that he was referring to the heart part. In my heart, if I have some other desires, okay, maybe I don't want to surrender to Krishna, then Krishna will put a filter. Okay, you don't want to believe in me, okay, this is the filter. You want to believe in me, okay, I'll remove the filter. So that is the part from like Maharaj was saying. So it is what Maharaj was talking about, more the heart part. But yes, I would also like to know the answer to the intelligence part, that how do we sharpen our intelligence, how do we go deeper, and yes, whatever, same with what Ashok Prabhu is asking. Maybe devotees can share that as well. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Prabhuji, in the Gita, it has clearly given that what kind of people who actually opt for Krishna and who do not opt for Krishna. So I think the desire which we are hankering for, that desire should be automatic. For going my home, I am outside on the road. I mean, do I need a strong desire? That's the only desire I have. I want to go back because I am getting kicked on the road. What else do I want than to be in the shelter of my parents and at my home? That's the only desire. But then to understand that I am being kicked on the road, I have to go back. I mean, I don't even know that I have my parents, I have my home where I can be really happy and protected. So the moment you have that realization that you are being kicked from all the side, and whatever you see surrounding you is actually not belonging to you, you will have that strong desire. I want to go back. I want to feel the protection and happiness of my parents. So for me, those four kind what Gyanis, and they understand without being kicked off. Some understand with the kickings getting. It can be different triggers to feel that I am on the road. But if the moment we realize we are on the road, I think we will get the desire. That's what probably I think. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you, Mataji, for sharing. Maybe Shyamkund Prabhu, you can please share your thoughts as well. And so that if there is any questions, the devotees can have follow-up questions on.
It's a little late, 7:10 already. Tomorrow, can we take it up, Prabhu?
Sure, Prabhu. We can take tomorrow also, no problem. Any last comment from any devotee before we wind up for the day? Yugal Kishore Prabhu or Harisham Prabhu or Himasundar Mataji?
No, Prabhu, thank you. We'll hear from Shankun Prabhu tomorrow. Thank you.
We want to hear from you as well, Prabhu.
Hari Hari.
Yes, Prabhu, please, few words.
This Ashok Prabhu's question is answer to Ashok Prabhu is very simple. That how can we develop such a desire? We just hear the how question is association of devotees. When we associate with the devotees, the desire to serve Krishna, desire to serve Krishna's devotees actually get arisen in our heart. So because their desire is to serve Krishna, by associating with them, our desires get purified, our desire gets aligned with them. And that is how desire to serve Krishna will arise when we associate with the devotees. And that is why this morning, our morning Sangha or any other things in the form of association which help us. And Prabhupada would always say that if you want to become drunkard, how do you become a drunkard? Just associate those who are already drunkard. So because associating with those people, we actually develop such kind of desire. And birds of the same feather fly together. And Prabhupada says that we have Lions Club, this club, that club, because those like-minded people come together. So when we associate with those people who have very strong desire that I want to serve Krishna, by associating with them, by aligning with them, serving them, by hearing from them, actually we develop a desire. And that is where our Vedic culture always talk with that associating with the sadhus. And when we associate with the sadhus, actually we are on the very wonderful path journey to serve Supreme Personality of Godhead, which is the highest purpose of our life. Desire, how do you develop a desire? It's a long question, maybe Shankun Prabhu will answer, but shortly, when in Bhagavad Gita, 6th chapter, it is said that those who have started Krishna consciousness in the previous life, they get some favorable situation in this life. In the 16th chapter, Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says that those who have already doing very sinful activities, they are eternally damned to the hellish condition. So of course, Krishna doesn't. It doesn't mean that they will never get opportunity. So what it means that even if we are getting favorable situation, but if we are too much of sinful condition, one has committed sinful activities in the past, he will not able to actually understand the instructions. And Prabhupada would always say the man proposes, God disposes. So the desire has to come from the individual. Now the question comes that how the desire will come in one's mind. So for that, again, there could be two parts. Part one is that just like Damodar Leela, we have to have our own endeavor, and the mercy of sadhu, both combined will actually help us to that desire. And of course, association of sadhu can also help us in that direction. So some endeavor from our side, and the a very important mercy from the sadhu, both combination will actually help us to go in that direction. That can be a very quick answer. So, but if we are very sinful in the past, then the 16th chapter says that the demonic people will never get an opportunity because they will be put into the eternally into the hellish condition. They will never get, even if the instructions are given, they will not be able to understand that. So, but of course, sometimes sadhu's mercy can even do wonderful magic. But in general, that our endeavor, Sadhu's mercy, Krishna's mercy, both together can actually able to catch Krishna, just like Mother Yashoda was able to catch Krishna. Catching Krishna means for us coming closer to Krishna, chanting the name of Lord Krishna, serving devotees, all this together. Today we are able to do is not only with our endeavor, but the mercy of a sadhu, both together will help us. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
So thank you. Thank you so much for sharing this. Thank you. Okay, so it's 7:14. So we will again connect tomorrow. Thank you, devotees, for joining. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.